Sorry, I'm just trying to get my
Okay, remember to speak into your mic about a fist away. So we do have fun facts today, so that'll be good. You guys ready?
Let's do it. Cue the Mew.
This is Laura at the Tivoli Bar and Grill in San Diego, California, the oldest bar in the Gaslamp District. And you're listening to Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars. Hi, Mark.
Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars. The podcast that blends the aging scooter lifestyle with a twist to the paranormal over a cool cocktail. Join our scooter adventures in the afterlife as we visit classic pubs, dive bars, and haunted taverns up and down the West Coast, collecting interesting stories and attempting to avoid serious trouble. Now, this isn't smart or safe, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
You know, it's only been a couple of weeks since our last foray into the media.
Four-way?
A four-way?
Either. But we have to share our recent delve into fabulous San Diego, California. So, welcome to episode 48, The Ghosts of Saturday Night. In this COVID atmosphere...
We got to wait a second here, Lonnie, because this is really cool. Because in this COVID atmosphere... It was an interesting trip. You know why? Because we became a distanced one with the city, Mission Beach, and cool bar.
I love it.
Our title, The Ghosts of Saturday Night, comes from a Tom Waits song written about Napoleon's Pizza House in National City there in San Diego, where he worked for 5 years washing dishes and eventually becoming a cook. The owner saying, he made a pretty good pie. We're sad to say our timing didn't allow us to get there, especially with our pizza guy here, Mark.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
But we did get to some very, very cool places, including two of the oldest bars or oldest liquor licenses in the city, both of which are haunted.
And wonderful.
We didn't have permission to use the song, so I'm going to kind of fade her out there right now. You know, thank you, Tom. You're so great. Another great song that came out of San Diego was one of my favorite guys and one of his favorite songs.
Ooh.
That's right.
The Who?
No. Bruce Springsteen wrote a song about San Diego. Rosalito, Come Out Tonight. And then, like I said, it's one of my all-time favorites. Bruce. Once again, he didn't return my email, so we're just going to fade that out. But the line in there is, I know a pretty little place in Southern California down San Diego way. There's a little cafe where they play guitars all night and all day. You can hear them in the back room strumming. So hold tight, baby, because don't you know Daddy's coming.
You use that line a lot. Not as often as you used to.
How do you know? I'm generally by myself.
That's too much information.
Anyway, we'll get into a fun discussion about our bar visits in a bit. But first, I think we have to cover some fun facts, some scooter news, and I'm not sure I was able to make it happen for the spooky news. But maybe we did. So
this is Jennifer at the Pennant Bar in South Mission Beach in San Diego, California, and you're listening to Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars.
You remember Jennifer?
I do.
Very
yes.
first place we went to when we got off the airplane, checked in, got off the airplane. It's a Pennant Bar, and we'll talk about it a little bit, I'm sure. But
because that whoop in the background was one of our women.
Yeah. She was appealing to everybody. Very pretty girl there down on the beach. Thank you, Jennifer.
And who knows what was under the mask? She was wearing a mask.
She took her mask off when she did that little voiceover.
We know that.
See, all right.
The people don't know that.
There you go. So what's been going on, Lizard?
Geez, it's been pretty stormy at my house lately. We had big winds. The other day, Yesterday I got
Did
up.
you watch The Old Man in the Sea?
I didn't.
Seas were rough that day, my friend.
I had one giant log on the beach. I got up my.
You did you take paper with you?
Plastic bag.
You got to pick up.
That's the rule on the beach. Yeah, I got out my steel Farm Boss chainsaw. I cut that son-of-a-bitch up. I rolled it out of there myself. I was so proud. And then the tide changed and the wind picked up. And this morning we have about 30 logs.
Oh my God! You're gonna have to get the yard boss. What's it called?
The Farm Boss.
Farm boss.
Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'll deal with it.
God's having a good chuckle though.
Got to keep the beach clean.
Wow. How about you, Mark? What's going on?
Oh, just trying to deal with COVID. School shut down, whatever.
You kind of talk about the same thing every time.
My life is a steady ebb.
Ebb means, isn't it moving away from you?
My life is moving away from me, yes. And maybe my wife.
Your life, your wife.
Everything's ebbing.
Whatever it happens to be.
Ebbing
Well, hell, it's only been 2 weeks. Normally we go a month between podcasts,
That's true.
so here we go.
Yeah, what about with you?
Well, I keep talking about my awakening, my spiritual awakening. Very cool. I just finished Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, which is the follow-up book to The Power of Now. And it was enlightening.
Oh, boy.
Enlightening, yeah. And I'm continuing to work on raising my vibration. Can you feel it? That's not that.
It's the adjuster that you need to move.
Mark, that's what Beth says. Mark, why is the bed shaking? And Weeknites, who does our music, dropped a single. And they had a really cool review in an Australian magazine called happymag.tv.
And we're big fans of The Weekend.
Yeah. Well, not The Weekend. It's Weeknights. The Weekend's good, too.
That's been on the news lately.
If you check our Facebook page, you can listen, or you can get it on Spotify, iTunes, or simply grunt it out to the whole podcast, and we will play that song at the end instead of our bought and paid for purchase theme song that goes in there. And it's called Body Temp Spirits, and they got more music coming out super very soon.
Exciting.
So, yeah. Kind of cool.
This is Stacy at the Aero Club in San Diego, California, and you're listening to Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars.
Stacy, whiskey girl.
Yeah.
Great bar.
Yeah. So, hey, we're going to do fun facts.
Hey, we go. Nice.
Now, we have a theme to this one.
Oh?
It's the sex, drugs, and alcohol edition.
Oh, that's right up our alley.
So the regular.
Yeah, well, Uber facts, they were feeling kind of froggy. And they're not called horny facts, I guess. Right? It's not Uber facts. So thanks to the guys at Uber Facts for shipping this over. We appreciate it. I think I'll just get this started because it's so close to my world. But it's difficult to get pandas to mate, in part because female pandas are only in the mood for a short time during the spring. Females are only interested in mating 24 to 36 hours in a year.
Yikes.
No wonder the male panda doesn't move very quickly. There's no reason.
No wonder
he moved quickly right there.
No wonder why pandas are becoming extinct.
Well, I was thinking if it was 1 hour every or twice a month, you could almost make that work. Right? I mean, with a shower and a nap. All right. I think, Mark, you ought to take this next one.
Okay. Doggy style may be the best sex position for someone with lower back pain.
Yeah.
Really? I'll have to share that.
Well, it depends which position you are, I think. I mean,
my back hurts.
Well, I've tried
if
them
you're
both.
on the bottom.
I've tried them both. I'm telling you right now, it's pretty easy.
Oh, my goodness.
Let me take this next one.
Okay.
Men who tend to stay up late tend to have a higher number of sexual partners.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think because maybe they're closing bars, or maybe they are night owls, or I don't know. This is just what was said.
I ask you that because I always go to bed early.
No, I'm an early. I used to go to bed late.
But it makes sense now why our wives tell us, you guys need to get to bed.
Okay, here we go. Hangovers are the result of the hormone level changes in your body meant to reduce dehydration and cellular damage caused by alcohol. You feel hungover until the level of ethanol in your blood slowly returns to zero, which can take up to 48 hours. Unless...
What?
You have another drink. Isn't that the best way to get them? Just what they say about the hair bite the
hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog, yeah. Bite the dog.
I've never heard that ethanol component of that.
Yeah, so this came from Uberfax, so you know it's true.
Oh yeah, okay, I believe it.
Yeah. So, Mark, why don't you hit this number 5 here?
Well, this is important. I'm glad you gave this one to me. A higher IQ is associated with an increased chance of illegal drug use and excessive alcohol consumption. Genius, back to you.
It was a big night last night. All right, Lonnie.
This is the shit you just make up, isn't it?
No,
I'm not sure.
It's true.
Well, how about this one? Reverse cowgirl is the position responsible for most cases of penile fracture. Serious, it's a thing.
It is. As a matter of fact, they're now advertising medicine on when they always talk about.
Oh, the bent dick?
Yeah, somehow you can break your dick. Yeah, that's a scary thing, I guess. It has in your case, Mark, it would have to be long enough to break.
Well, yeah, that's the stubby advantage. But I was going to say, when it doesn't get rock hard at your age, it really doesn't matter. So all positions are open.
It'll
to you.
bend and not break.
Did you know studies have shown no evidence that using marijuana lowers your IQ?
Huh?
I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah. So men are 4 times more likely to die from a heart attack during sex because their partners are too embarrassed to call for help.
Huh?
So think about that.
They just leave them there?
I guess. I mean, what do you do? I mean, basically...
Well, you go from making noise to flat nothing and you just lay there?
Well, maybe they think they blew their mind. Mind-blowing sex.
I have a off-the-air story about that. Remind me to tell you when the shit show's over.
Okay, Mark, keep the record button going on that.
Okay, so finally, Lonnie, why don't you finish this last one up? This is a great one.
In 2015, which was 5 years ago, a teenager named Bud Weiser was arrested for trespassing at a Budweiser brewery in St. Louis.
I mean, what are the chances?
That's an ironic shame.
When you look up coincidence in the dictionary, you see
it is.
Budweiser's
Budweiser. Weisser. Budweiser was arrested. But it's
spelled the same.
Maybe they say it the same. It the same as well too.
Budweiser should be able to use this guy though.
He should be their spokesperson.
There's a marketing.
Yeah,
they really should.
Somewhere.
So there you go. There it was.
This is Sam at the Beachcomber in San Diego, California, and you are listening to Chasing Ghosts on scooters in bars.
Sounds like somebody's been in California.
Guess what time it is?
Oh,
time for Scooter News.
All right.
What do you have for us today?
Well, this has been going around a little bit. We put it on
So it's COVID.
Right, we've got that. But this is something Keith sent me a few days ago, which I forwarded on to you guys, which you say you didn't see. Also, there was a great post by Brooke Dane, who was he was our adventure writer podcast we did last year. Brooke Dane, adventure writer, if you remember that one. Yeah. So he posted it as well. I grabbed his post, put it on the Chasing Ghosts page, and shared it out there. And this is really cool. This is Zenmoto's newest model called the Golden Age. It
looks Art Deco-y.
Yeah, I think they love the Art Deco. If you look at some of their other motorcycles, they're just really, really cool. So they took a BMW Scooter 400 series, and then they converted it into almost a Henderson, 1937 Henderson lookalike.
But with a lower center of gravity,
right? Yeah, it's really cool if you get a chance to take a look at it.
Nimble on city streets. Good stuff like that.
It says here that it's using a BMW 350cc, not a 400, but this will make Keith happy, 35 horsepower.
That's important.
Remember, he talked about the horsepower.
He knows his horsepower.
And what kind of technology does it have, Mark?
Vortex.
It's rakishly handsome. It does say that. If you get a chance, go to nmoto.com and check it out because
that's NMOTO.
That's really cool. I would love to have that in my garage.
Almost looks like you get two-seater, but side by side.
It looks fat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is absolutely beautiful. It's sort of like we did Janus motorcycles last time. It just makes your palms sweaty. It's like I just need to have it.
Yeah.
I just need to own it.
Yep, exactly.
I got to have that thing. And if you're on there, take a look at their Nostalgia model, which is inspired by 1934 BMW R7. So there you go.
Now, any idea how fast the R7 goes?
I don't know. Do you?
No.
140 miles an hour is what I see here. I read their whole. I even watched their video. So
well, I'm glad somebody did their research.
Yeah, I noticed Mark was.
I thought I got fired from my last homework project.
Yeah. So guess what happens after?
I was showing up the teacher.
Speaking of BMW, right?
Yeah.
I also sent you something on a BMW electric scooter.
You did?
Yeah. Did you take a look at it?
Of course I did.
What did you think of it?
Well, it's kind of George Jetson looking.
You know what they call? Yeah,
it looks Chinese-ish.
Well, they're kind of calling it cyberpunk, steampunk, cyberpunk. Yeah, it's
aerodynamic.
Yeah, it's part of a suite of announcements outlining the latest German products. But BMW is calling this one the Motorrad Definition CE04.
Uh-huh.
And it is a wild-looking scooter. And what really kind of got me, I'm not sure they're right, but they're saying that a scooter is not a fun bike.
Who said that?
See, I'm reading that too.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit too.
I think they should have said maybe this scooter's not meant to be a fun bike, but it's more for a transportation.
Well, you know,
thing.
the Germans are very practical people. And so they're saying it's a practical everyday vehicle for driving from home to the office or meeting friends.
Right.
For us, it would just take us to the bar.
That's fun.
That's really fun if they were open. Looks like Inslee's closing us down again.
Motherfucker.
J Almighty, putting the hammer down.
Yeah. So the Motorrad, what did I call it? It's a mouthful, they say. The Definition CE04 is really cool. So check it out. There's a pretty good story on theverge.com, TheVerge.com.
You know what? We're on the verge of lots of electric stuff. I mean,
I think that we're all going to have to get one pretty soon.
Yeah.
Just to go in the fleet.
yeah, you betcha.
Yeah, sure. So what happens after
Norwegian.
Scooter News? What happens?
Time for
Spooky News.
Well, except for
I ain't got nothing.
I got nothing.
How about the whole shutdown for a nation is spooky enough?
So I would agree with that. This is Sunday. We're recording on Sunday prior to a NFL football going on, and our governor has come out and announced that they're pretty much shutting everything down.
I don't know what Denny Heck would do, but I hope Biden takes Inslee.
Denny
Heck.
He's our lieutenant governor, isn't
Well, he's going to be the governor if Inslee goes to Biden.
Right.
Oh,
and
right.
I hope he goes.
And then we're not going to comment on our national election because.
The thing is, we're not a political podcast,
And my mom always said, "Don't talk politics at the dinner table
or religion."
Right.
Though I do talk about my spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
And as Eckhart Tolle says, just say I am.
But most of the time it's always about you, anyways.
I am.
And don't you sink to the lowest point? No.
That's the Tao Te Ching. That's Lao Tzu, but that's like water. Go to the lowest point. Water's powerful.
Did someone say water?
So wow,
Listen, you take care of the shakes.
This is getting bad. So I'm sorry that I didn't have any spooky news, but we do have a spooky story coming up.
It'll be fine
when we talk about our.
I'm glad I'm sure our listeners are okay with one less segment.
We'll see if we can get us through this. And we're back.
All right.
Yeah. What? So we're going to talk about the bars and places we went to in San Diego.
You know what we should do? We should get hold of our buddy Andrew at Vespa Portland because
Why?
Well, he told me once that he grew up in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he made a comment on social media on some of the shots that we took down there. Should we see if he's around on a Sunday? It's his day off.
Yes.
He's probably not awake yet, but let's try.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to talk about their hometown growing up?
Yeah.
Well, let's. Okay, this is an experiment. We're going to call him. I mean, seriously, I'm hitting the button right now. You ready?
What if he's at church?
All right, let's try it. Hey, guys. Hey-ho!
First ring.
You must be listening to us live. How'd you know we were going to call you?
A little birdie texted me.
Oh, there you go. Thanks. Who's texted? Who warned him? All right. Hey, so Andrew is Michelle with you?
She's packing at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Divorce.
Oh, no, we're moving to a different.
It was good while it lasted.
More bars. More bars in your future.
What we didn't hear is that she is packing your suitcase.
Well, I hope so. Saves me some time.
There you go. So you're getting a different place, huh?
Yeah, heading a little bit to the east side of Portland, and I mean we're already over here, but a little further east, and bigger spot, more room to spread out, bigger garage for more scooters.
Oh,
Nice,
good for you.
nice.
Nice. Congrats. So how's everything in Portland at Vespa Portland? Things going well?
Yeah, pretty good. The weather changed, so a little slower, but as it would normally be. But it's been a pretty solid year. A lot of new riders out there. A lot of current riders that.
That's crazy because a lot of new riders, but no new listeners.
Yeah, you're supposed to be encouraging them to be part of the aging scooter lifestyle.
Doing my best.
All right, we'll get you some stickers down there. We want them on every bike going out.
May have to start at the funeral homes.
So we did a trip down to San Diego. I think you saw that on social media. Is that right?
Yep, I was following along with that. It was a surprise.
Yeah, and we also we stopped in at Scooters West at your friends down there. Isn't that where you kind of got started in the scooter
Lifestyle
enthusiasm and lifestyle? Passionate guy?
No, actually, I got into it when I was in Portland, actually. My time in San Diego was all pretty much riding BMX bikes around, and scooters are similar in the exploration sense, small, easy to get around the city, that sort of thing. But
just more
I actually
mature.
met those guys later. Yeah,
But you've been to their shop?
many times.
Okay.
Yeah, so we stopped in and we met Alex, and I want to say that his wife's name is Colleen. Is that right?
Monica.
Monica, darn it! Hi, Monica.
There goes your touch.
She gave us a really nice tour of the place. It's 11,000 square feet of scooter madness, or as they like to call it, Scootertude, the fortress of Scootertude.
Yeah, it is that. Did they take you on the roof?
We did not get to. What's on
What?
the roof? What?
There's like an upstairs, and there's a really, really sketchy ladder that, like a wood ladder from God knows how long ago, that you can get up on the roof. But
So they
getting
were
down.
holding out.
So they probably thought Lonnie would break a hip or something.
You could. When you get back in, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that
But
could have
it's
done a
cool when you go up there.
backflip off the roof.
Yeah, we said hi to Robot and got a nice tour, and then Lonnie went and spent about $400 on helmets and jackets and all kinds
when
of stuff.
being a small businessman, you got to support the small guy too. And
They don't seem so small.
well, no, they're not, but they're not, corporate. And I had to spend a little bit.
Yeah,
I
actually,
needed some stuff.
I bought some foot pegs and I bought the wrong ones, so I need to figure that out. I'm going to see if I can return them to Vespa Portland.
See how their return policy really is.
Yeah, we don't care where you bought it; we'll take them back. And Mark, I think you looked at a new Piaggio BV 500.
It caught my eye.
Oh, I noticed that
Silver one, yeah.
your palms were sweaty over that one.
That was nice.
We tried to get your wife over on it. She glanced at it.
She thought it was too fast for my abilities.
That hurt, didn't it?
I did hit the pavement once in my life, though. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That was on my wife's scooter,
Yes,
if I
it was.
remember.
I think you need to have that.
I
Matter
do
of fact,
too.
I got $25 in my pocket right now that I'm going to put towards that.
And I will match that with 5, so you'll have $30.
that should push Molly over the edge.
Money drives her.
She usually does it for less than 30.
So Andrew, we had a nice little visit down there, and then we headed down to the gas lamp district and started hitting some bars.
I bet you did. The least shocking part of the story.
We stayed at South Mission Beach, right by the Coast Guard station and all the volleyball nets and all that, right on the beach. It was great. And we went to our first bar was a bar called the Pennant. In fact, Jennifer did a little transition for us earlier in the show from that. She was a lovely young woman. And have you been there to the Pennant?
No, I didn't spend a ton of time in Mission Beach. When I was there was a place called the Liars Club, which was way ahead of its time. It was like, kind of what the craft beer scene is now. but this was like 2005, and it just wasn't a thing at the time. And that was kind of the spot to go to in Mission Beach, but they're gone. I don't know if I've been to the Pennant. I doubt it, but there's a lot of good stuff down there.
Yeah, right next door is a place called the Beachcomber, too.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was where Sam.
Familiar.
Yeah, Sam was. It's been there since the 40s, and our bartender was Sam. She was a
Chicago.
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh
fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah,
Roethlisberger fan.
Yeah, she was very nice, and that was a nice little bar. We got in there for last call.
Did she have shorts and boots on?
No, that would be Janelle. That would be
she.
That's a different podcast.
I went and saw Janelle recently.
Okay, back to
and she was
focus.
wearing her shorts and her boots. But she was not in the right mood. It was not a good visit.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, she's good for one of those once in a while.
So you didn't spend a lot of time at Mission Beach, but did you spend time down in the Gas Lamp District?
A little bit. That's kind of where everybody ends up when they're 21. You know, it's like the first spot you go to. It's also,
Or 60.
Right.
yeah, or 60. Yeah.
So what was your favorite stop?
Bar down there?
Yeah.
I enjoyed North Park and South Park quite a bit, like the Whistle Stop. It was a pretty awesome place in South Park. And North Park had a place called Scolari's Office where there was a guy wearing a flannel shirt all the time who really smelled terrible, and he would like lick people's elbows. Weird guy. That place is gone now. I think it's like a club. North Park just kind of turned into a, $6-7 for a PBR, kind of a club scene.
Yeah.
Later on.
So we went to Tivoli, which is the oldest bar in the Gas Lamp District,
Right.
and one of the oldest bars in the whole city. And we met a couple of the people, but
we met Wyatt Earp there.
well, they have Wyatt Earp's picture up on the wall, along with a whole bunch of other really kind of classic and famous people, including the originators of the place. Which it was also haunted. Remember, they talked about upstairs was a brothel at one point,
Right.
And people had all kinds of experiences up there. We had a really good visit, friendly group of people at Tivoli.
Yeah, that was fun.
Laura opened the show for us from Tivoli, right?
Yep. Yes.
What was the other gal's name?
Liz. I don't. But
Doesn't matter.
Well, here's a little snippet about Tivoli. It's the oldest pub in downtown San Diego, and it lies in a lot originally owned by land baron Alonzo Horton. Do you know him, Andrew?
I don't know him, but he has the mall down there, Horton Plaza, which is pretty much empty now.
Oh, well, he helped develop most of downtown San Diego, and this bar was built in 1864, and the building was first called the Walker House, and it functioned as a boarding house, then a feed store.
The Civil War was still going on then.
Yeah, and a blacksmith shop. So it was then converted into a saloon and kitchen in 1885. The original bar, which it's a Brunswick back bar, frankly.
Beautiful.
Peter Andrzejewski saw our picture and said, "Oh my God, I did not know that Brunswick was down in San Diego." So that was really cool. Was built in Boston and brought to San Diego by ship around Cape Horn at the southern. Well, we know where Cape Horn is. It's the southern tip of South America.
It's got to be like a 3 or 4 week journey.
Yes. Has the original cash register and the old safe, and San Diego was certainly growing rapidly with influx of sailors from the bustling port, gamblers, working girls, and assorted vagabonds. So this was considered the town's red light district. You know what that means, Andrew? You're a little bit younger.
I do know what it means.
Careful.
So you have been there.
So you might have been.
She will be packing your bag.
You might have been a victim of a stingery. That's what they called it down there, because due to the number of sailors and visitors who were stung for their money by gamblers and ladies of the evening and hustlers of all kinds.
Well, it's a natural thing.
But we had a good time at Tivoli.
Yeah, we did.
It was a nice stop. And if you remember,
Tivoli is 1864.
yeah, that's what they said.
That means it's 3 years older than Canada.
Oh my God!
Wow,
That's a
good
great
pull,
fact.
Andrew.
Yeah, a little factoid right out.
There's a fun fact for you.
San Diego, Portland guy. What's this have to do with Canada? I don't even know where to go with that. So that night we actually went to Little Italy and had dinner.
Yep.
We had dinner at Ristorante Elondo, which had super high ratings, and and was very difficult.
We barely got in.
So we had to fight to get a reservation. We get there and we're the only people there. So,
and it was average.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah.
They had soft bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did like the bread. We also, while we were in Little Italy, we were there a couple of different times. We went to the Crack Shack. Have you been there?
No, that's new, I think.
That's a chicken place.
Yeah, I think it's pretty new.
Yeah, but that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Open concept, outdoor.
We went to the Shake Shack. And a lot of this had to do with...
We had a milkshake time.
You remember we were with women. And so they didn't
wives.
just... Our wives. I wasn't.
Oh,
I was
right.
a fifth wheel.
He was a stingaree.
But it was nice.
I think Molly and Maddie stung you a couple times.
Yeah,
Yes,
we did do the
they
Crack Shack and the Shake Shack.
And we and Restaurant Orlando and the Waterfront,
Yeah.
right? So before we get to the Waterfront, we went to, and Mark, I'm going to have you take over here a little bit. We went to El Indio for lunch.
Yeah, well, it was a little disappointing. I wanted to do the diners, drive-ins, and dive stops somewhere, whatever, and that happened to pop up on my list on the show. So we went there. It was a kind of an older cool building.
It was really cool.
But the chips were goddamn disappointing.
Well, they were super dense. I mean, they were like you could turn your garden with them.
Yeah.
It's like
They
my
were
mom made homemade chips and said, "Hey boys, more steel chips."
Well, it was.
I grew up through the '70s with that shit. I don't need it again.
Have you been there, Andrew?
2000s.
El Indio, yeah, once or twice. It's definitely one of those places that everyone talks about, and I just never understand why. Like Voodoo Donuts in Portland.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're in that category now.
Yeah.
Also, whenever I see diners, drive-ins, and dives, little graffiti tag inside of a restaurant, I typically go, "Oh, I might be in the wrong spot."
Yeah,
But
well-
sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, the artichokes at Crockett's are pretty good that they did.
I'm not giving up on them because there's some shit on there
No,
that I see.
their food
that I
was
could
good.
eat.
Their food was pretty good.
It was good,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like, oh my God, I've never had anything like that
Right.
except the chips. I've never had anything like those chips. But here's a little history. El Indio was founded on the corner of India and Grape as a tortilla factory in August of 1940 by Ralph Pesquiera
Hey,
Sr.
Andrew, how old was Canada in 1940?
I would say Canada was older than that place.
That's right. So they just made tortillas. Fresh corn tortillas were made by hand, and then during World War II, customers from Consolidated, Convair, and other nearby factories soon began asking for ready-to-eat lunch items. Now, this is the big news here. They invented the taquito that you buy at Costco, you know, the boxes, those frozen little, a word that the owner coined for little taco. And between 1945 and 1946, Ralph Sr. used his basement to make the first tortilla machine in San Diego.
Huh.
What are you going to do with that?
His name was Ralph?
Ralph doesn't sound very Hispanic.
Pesquiera.
Yeah.
Anyway, he increased production from 30 dozen tortillas per day to more than 30 dozen per hour.
Wow.
And began supplying local restaurants.
Well, there's a small business.
Yeah. I got to commend those guys, though, because that place is a machine. Like Voodoo Donuts in Portland. They were cranking it out, and they were making some dough.
Speaking of donuts, we had donuts our last podcast.
I was kind of hoping we were going to get some.
I know, he didn't show up for them this time. Where were those from? Sonny's? Where were they from?
Happy Donuts.
Happy Donuts in Puyallup.
Delicious.
Those were pretty good, I have to say.
They'll be back, gentlemen.
I mean, I'm low carb, so I only had 2.
I can give you another factoid about San Diego Mexican food.
Lay it
All right,
on.
let's go.
It is the only region in the country where taquitos are called rolled tacos.
Really?
Wow.
Except at El Indio.
That's in San
Except
Diego.
for India. And sometimes when you're out in the world, like we were in Bend, Oregon, a few months back, and at a taco shop, and there was a place on the menu, it said 5 rolled tacos. And I was like, "Oh my God, are you guys from San Diego?" And the guy said, "Yep."
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
you nailed it.
You can tell.
I think that's because Ralph Sr. trademarked the phrase taquito. And everybody else had to pay for it if they were going to use it.
You know, I don't see a TM or a T on this when I did I did my research.
He is Ralph Sr., so he's probably a pretty smart dude.
Yeah, well, Ralph Jr. now is running the place, just so you know.
And that'd be Ralph the Third.
You know what they call him? You know what his name is? Sonny. They call him Sonny.
Okay. Anyway,
All right. We got up. We got there when they opened,
Yep.
and we sat outside, and I was so proud of your wives because we had beers at about 11:30.
We had beers, and it was good. Yeah.
Good stuff.
We sat out there, and it was nice.
Did you go to Gelato Vera next door?
No, we were full.
But where did we go after
We walked
that?
down to.
We went to we walked to the Aero Club.
And that was
fun.
fabulous.
We had a really, really good visit at the Aero Club.
Except the Christmas lights. Got to take those.
I
down.
like the Christmas lights,
I
but
didn't.
Stacy was our bartender,
She was
and
great.
if you remember, we drank Blantons. They had Blantons in stock, and we sucked down about
First time ever for me.
$200 worth of Blantons, and it was past noon.
But you remember the story behind that bar was it was started by a woman pilot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. In fact, here's what it says. It was first opened in 1947 by a well-respected female pilot, Miriam Prophet, great name, who wanted to open an airplane-themed bar for other airline staff as well as the workers of a nearby aircraft factory. She only ran the bar for a few years, but continued to own the building until she passed away in her mid-90s. So she did what all smart bar owners
Smart
do.
woman.
Yeah, own the real estate and keep selling it to different people. The bar part until
I bet you if you dug a little deeper, she had a thing going with Ralph Sr. down the road.
you think she hit that?
Probably. Anyway.
She was the little taquito.
If they listen, we're going to be in trouble.
She was the road taco.
Well, and the other cool thing about that story is the fact that she left the key, or other pilots had the key to the joint. They could come in after hours.
They did. Yeah. She would leave the key for her friends to come in and have drinks when they're on turnarounds, right? They fly in.
That's a good friend right
Back
there.
when you could drink and fly at the same time.
Yeah. I think some people are still doing it. Aren't you kind of a pilot guy, Andrew? Don't you like airplanes?
My dad was in that industry for a long time.
That's what I thought. I knew there was a connection somewhere.
Yeah, we'd go sit by the fence at the San Diego airport with an old radio and just listen to the tower when I was a kid. Pretty fun.
Oh, that is. That's really cool. So
yeah, it's a good time.
The people that own the Aero Club also own the Waterfront.
That's right.
And the Waterfront has the oldest liquor license apparently in San Diego, but it's hard to believe because
yet you said Tivoli's did.
Tivoli's is the oldest bar in the Gaslamp district. But I don't because
that's probably pre-liquor license.
Yeah, maybe. But the Waterfront,
I think 1864 was pre-liquor license.
Okay, so they opened in 1933, just after Prohibition. So they got their legal liquor license,
good.
which is probably why they've owned it the long way. You know, Bill
cool
Murray.
building, though.
Bill Murray likes to drink
My
there.
cousin Bill.
Your cousin Bill Murray. You know, he's AY and you're EY.
But I love their pictures from back in the old days, the street front.
Yeah.
Those are cool pictures.
So this is kind of a cool. They had a regular that used to drink there named Howard Bass. And Howard drank a Merlot glass of wine every day. And he said, when I die and they cremate me, I want to be interned here. I want you to, and they agreed to do it. So when he passed away, they put his ashes up behind the bar, and Howard Bass sits there all day, every day, and hangs around.
We just need to decide what bar we're going to put you in. I think that's how you're going to go out too.
Well, I haven't spent enough time in San Diego to say that's going to be it, but I'll let you know.
So what does the sign there say? Is it say this is Howard Bass is an ash?
That's not very respectful.
He's not dead yet.
Sorry, Howard.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what?
I think it's pretty cool that they did that. Actually,
Yeah.
And-
Here's what I found most interesting about the Waterfront. It was day 3 of our last day, and we went there kind of by ourselves. Our wives were, I think, kind of done with us. They went shopping.
Imagine that.
I think your wife went up to get more frozen custard from the Shake Shack.
And my wife went to the art store, but you got a story out of the Waterfront.
Yeah. So before we get into that, we did meet one of the owners, Rocky. But Andrew, what are your memories of the Waterfront Tavern, Waterfront Bar and Grill?
They are blurry.
Those are the best.
So
Honestly, I don't remember much of the Waterfront at all, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, well, it's
That whole 21-year-old.
yeah, it's a cool bar.
When did you leave San Diego? What year?
2007.
Okay.
So he was 21. I don't know what that means. 28. I don't know how old you are.
Why did you move out?
I was working for a company called...
He was becoming an alcoholic.
Let him
I
tell
had
the story.
a corporate distribution job, and they said I needed to move to either Portland or Boston, or I could take a severance package. And at the time, I was 22, didn't really have any reason to hang around, so I said, okay, I'll move. Went to Portland.
To the Rose City. Okay. Now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah. So we met with Rocky for a few minutes, and he confirmed that what we'd heard is that the waterfront is indeed haunted. And so here's Rocky's story about the Waterfront Tavern. Okay, so I'm with Rocky, the owner of the Waterfront Bar in San Diego, California. They also have other bars. We went to the Aero Bar yesterday. Is that you too as well?
Yep. Aero Club, a couple other bars here in San Diego.
But this one's known to be haunted.
Yes, and it's the oldest bar in San Diego too. So it's the oldest bar in San Diego, and it is haunted. I think Will didn't want to tell you because she's afraid, so we don't want to freak Will out more about it. But so here's the story. Here's how it goes. Back in the day, it was mostly an Italian-owned bar, Italian fishermen. You see them all over the wall. After hours, they'd gamble back here. So they would sit down, they'd play this Italian game, they'd gamble for money. And this one guy lost a bunch of money, and he ratted him out. So then the police came, they raided the bar, took all the cash, whatever. There's actually a old hole in the ground over there where the safe used to be, where they hid money in the ground back in the office. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they got ratted out. So then they went and found the guy that ratted him out. They pulled him back here, strapped him to the pool table, cut his balls off, and stuffed his balls in his front pocket, and then allegedly threw him in the ocean.
Oh, my God.
So the rumor is that the ghost here is a guy just looking for his balls. So he haunts us looking for his testicles every night. That's
now,
the story. Are
there any employees or you or anybody or your grandma or anybody that had an experience?
Yeah, there's lots. It's a lot of the times our opening cooks, because we open every day at 6, so they get here around like 5 or 4 in the morning. They got more stories than I do, but they've definitely,
things are moving.
Oh yeah, they
sounds.
felt the presence and sounds. And
how about you? Anything
creepy?
Anything happened to you?
I do my best not to stay here past close because I do get freaked out. You just feel it. I swear, you just feel it. Like there's something weird in this bar. So we never really make a note to be in here by yourself past a certain time.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Rocky.
Yeah.
And I'll get you a sticker so you can look us up.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, we got to be COVID safe. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a ball buster of a story.
Yeah, so where are your balls, Mark? They're in your wife's pocket?
She gave me one for my pocket and one for hers.
Were you able to hear that, Andrew?
Yeah, that was a crazy tale, and those balls are long gone.
Yeah, that's why he's looking for them. They probably used them for bait. So, yeah, that was a fun visit and a fun conversation with Rocky there at the waterfront, and one of the highlights of our trip. I mean, the Aero Club, the waterfront, Tivoli's. I think those were the 3 top. But the Beachcomber was nice. That late night stuff. And do you know why we went to the Beachcomber? Do you remember?
No.
I do. That's why I'm here. I keep track of things like that. We went there because each night, after everybody got sleepy and tired, we would walk down South Mission Avenue to a little corner grocery store and buy a bottle of whiskey.
That's right.
And we went in there the first night. They had a lot of whiskey. Couldn't decide. We ended up buying a bottle of Bullet Rye. Remember that, Mark?
Yes.
We drank the whole bottle there just as it was just a pint. It wasn't very much. So the next night, everybody went to bed. We decided to take a little walk down to the same store. We walk in and the guy goes, Bullet again?
We were becoming predictable on day 2.
Day 2. It was like, oh my God. So we got our bottle and we noticed the Beachcomber was still open, and we walked across the street, and that's where we met Sam, the bartender.
It was last call.
Last call.
Yeah.
And and we met the owner as well. Yeah. That bar has been open since the 1940s. It's a rugby bar. If you're a rugby player, this is where people hang out and they support different teams and that sort of thing. I didn't realize that until I did a little bit of research.
I didn't know that. That was a good bar, though.
Yeah, pretty good. It's right next door to the Pennant, Andrew.
I'll check that out next trip down, and I'll take a scooter so I can park over there.
There you go.
I was really hoping that we would be offered a scooter when we went into Scooters West for all the thousands of dollars of parts I bought mail order from them, but not even a consideration.
Someone has to vouch for you.
It wasn't going to happen in the group he was with.
You know, the other thing that was a big deal. Now, this is how we know we're getting old. Is that we had
one more reason. Go ahead.
One more reason. Throughout the weekend, we were challenged by your wives to a Yahtzee game. Yeah. We had Yahtzee going, though.
Why did you have to bring that up?
I don't know. It made me uncomfortable, yet I really enjoyed it all at the same time.
I felt like George Costanza's parents.
Talk about having your balls in your pocket.
I had my dice in my pocket. Does Michelle play Yahtzee? It's a numbers game.
Never mind.
Shrug her shoulders at me. She's played it.
All right.
But she doesn't actively play it.
Oh, because you're young people, right? It's not on a video screen.
Yeah, they're playing beer pong or something.
Coming one day.
20 more years or so.
There you go. And then, we got a lot of really good walks in down there. I mean, literally, we were walking 7, 8, 9 miles a day.
A little swim in the ocean.
Swam in the ocean. That was fun.
You guys did. I actually did not, but I got a picture under a rainbow.
Amazing.
And then I think the biggest highlight of the trip for everybody is when I led them in a group meditation.
The longest and worst 5 minutes of our trip.
Holy shit. I'm still trying to recover.
You're too grounded. You got very grounded during that meditation. Maybe sometime I'll come down and lead your whole team at Vespa Portland in a group meditation. What do you think, Andrew?
Okay, gotta go.
We'll lock the door.
Oh, man. Do
you know how hard it is to keep one eye closed and one eye kind of squinted open for 5 minutes?
And not laugh so he won't get pissed off?
Actually, I thought it went pretty well. Maddie bought in. She was there. So.
My upper lip was starting to quiver a bit. I was fighting hard.
Yeah, you guys hurt my feelings a little bit.
Oh, well.
That's why you have the cow to chi.
So we did enjoy. I did not know that San Diego was as vibrant as it was, even during a COVID meltdown.
I want to go back.
A lot of nice volleyball players.
Yes, there were. And I spent time in the marina, on different business trips in that area, but I never got downtown to that area. So, nor when I was 21, Andrew.
We like your hometown, Andrew.
Thank you. Yeah, your next trip up, you got to go to University Heights, Hillcrest, North Park, South Park, and see that part of the town. It's a little more like Cat Hill, Seattle kind of area.
Oh, okay.
Good time. Or just bring your passports and time to go to Tijuana.
Yeah, we talked about. We all brought our passports, but I think there was the essential travel thing that we couldn't go across, right?
Well, and our wives.
Everything is
and the COVID
is bendable at the border.
Yeah, it's negotiable. I hear you can get a haircut down there, too. Well, like I promised at the very beginning of this particular podcast, Weeknites dropped a new single, and it's on, like I said, you can get Spotify, iTunes, everywhere, but it's got picked up and been on featured on some pretty prominent playlists, which is really cool. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to end the show with Weeknites' new record, which is really kind of cool. And
our house band.
He's our house band.
They're more than a house band, but we're lucky to have them. Yeah,
so thanks to Weeknites for supplying that and the original music for the podcast.
And thanks to Andrew for joining us.
Thanks to Andrew at Vespa Portland.
You didn't go to church today because of this, right?
No.
Hey, once we do our meditation and I help you through your spiritual, raising your vibration, your spiritual awakening, you're going to be just fine.
You and your vibrator again. You're going to be bow-legged for life.
I'd like to thank our listeners for listening to this drivel, and to our podcasting friends sitting here with me. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day.
You're welcome.
And then finally to the universe, for aligning my spirit to making this a very high vibrational joy. That's right. So here it is, Weeknites' new single, Body Temp Spirits, and here it is. Keep your head on a swivel and behind a mask, rubber side down, and ride, baby, ride. Copyright 2020 by Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars.